Well, I've got the old. I've got my light on. I'm using the phone today because I forgot my camera because I didn't even think about getting it. I was hoping to do this series, like another series for engine swapping and converting a VP Commodore from automatic to manual. So far we've actually removed the engine and gearbox out of the donor car, the parts car, which is obviously this one. This was a factory manual VP Vacationer. This is the engine out of said car that we've sort of got hanging on the engine stand here, semi-stripped, until we realised we needed the actual wiring loom or something along the lines of that. So for the gearbox, but we're going to have a look at that later. We've also stripped the fucking stripped all the interior, because we're going from this shitty beige colour to this really, really nice blue that I really like. So we're doing that, other bits and pieces. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to whip the exhaust manifolds off this. I'm going to whip all the front off the engine. Leave the water pump on because I haven't got a gasket for that. We take all this alternator, power steering, pump, belt tensioner, coil packs, and then obviously your leads, and we're going to work our way into the engine. We've got enough gaskets here. According to the kit, it's a valve regrind set, so it's everything from the heads up. And also a little bit extra, it's a sump gasket because these things are prick to do while they're in the car, so I thought I might as well do it here. While I've got the engine on the stand, it also looks like I'm missing an exhaust stud, which I haven't checked. I'll have to nick one off my old engine. It's got all of them on this one. Righto, hopefully my phone's got enough battery to sustain most of the happenings. Undo the exhaust manifolds. With our palm hammers. Right, so now I've got the manifolds off. One common issue with the cast manifolds on these Series 2 Buicks is the left-hand side manifold always cracks. Now, I was looking at this one and I thought, it's not too bad, it's in pretty good nick, but alas, there are cracks. It's alright, we got Series 1 extractors to put on it anyway. Right, now all that fucking is over. I've got to try and line this thing back up. Lift the whole engine stand up, and then you can just sort of wriggle it to where you want it. The issue is we don't have the engine quite square. Now the engine stand itself weighs nothing, so there we go. And now we just let them down. Just like that. This is a really bad idea using this engine stand. 1 times freestanding engine. Easy to be worked on. These over here. Now it's going to be twice as easy to get shit off it. All the wiring loom, harness and shit. Not like we need to pull this off, but it's off now. Right, so first things first. It's a straight head bolt. Fucking 1000 bolts, so that can go there with the exhaust manifolds. Now, that was great. Look at that. I think these are in good nick. Poor old girl's copped a freaking hiding. Might have to get some new engine mounts for it. Possibly. Alright, so as you can see, you got oil leaks fucking everywhere. And what we're going to do is we're going to start stripping the fucking thing down, I suppose. Right. Now we're replacing our throttle body, because the one on the VP is obviously a 65mm, whereas this one's only a 60mm throttle body. Pretty much doesn't really matter where you start, more or less, but I'm just going to pull the manifolds off. I'm going to pull the intake, throttle body off, the 90, and by the looks of this one, this engine's had the velocity tube taken out of it, so it's been tampered with. That, and also this is a brass fitting too, my friend was telling me. So it has actually been worked on and semi looked after, considering the state of the clutch that come out of it. Actually, I can show you that. I'll show you that right now. Step outside into my office, and we can see the remnants of the clutch. That, my friends, come out of the white car. That pressure plate come out of that. That explains why there was no drive. Hence why I bought it so cheaply too. I was correct in saying it's had no velocity stack in it. So what happens is there's a plastic tube about this long, stops in about the middle of the manifold. It's a velocity tube. So what it does is it distributes the air evenly into the manifolds, so down each side. Now when you remove that, pretty sure it's the front, this is what I was told, the front 2 cylinders run lean, because they get too much air, the middle cylinders run right, and the back 2 run rich, because they're not getting enough air, getting too much fuel. So just a thing to note, pulling the plastic velocity stack out of the manifold doesn't actually improve anything, as far as I know. Maybe one day we'll do a test and put the car on the dyno and see if it does anything, but on the engine dyno it would probably be more advantageous. But anyway, yeah, just thought I'd give you a go on that. And also, remember that even though these don't have any markings on them, they're at 3/8 headed bolt. Now, a lot of these Holden Motors GM engines, they're all Imperial, because American. So there's a good mix of Imperial and metric bolts on these too. So just be mindful of that, and yeah, just to help you out a little bit. So, oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Ooh, that's not good, I don't think. Alright, I'm going to keep persevering with this, and I'll see you later. Ha! Cool. Got my phone sitting up on the engine stand. Just want to give this a good old pop. Away we go. Now, this has never been cracked open before. You can see this gasket in here is very well perished. And that had been letting all the oil on both sides, I'd near say, leak out all over the engine. Now, she's pretty gummed up, actually. This is... We'll give it a good old clean, I reckon. Time for the grand unveiling. Oh, yeah. It's not, I mean, it's not too bad. See, it probably never got serviced when it was supposed to. You don't know. Could be anything to do with engine oils, nothing. But, I mean, the oil that come off the dipstick was in a fairly good condition. Like, there's no discoloration in that oil. It's not very tacky, but might have been semi-looked after. Now we've just got to pull all the fucking rockers off. Then we pull out the push rods. And we'll be in business. Now, a bit of a trick. If you need to pull the bolts off your power steering pump, but dickhead didn't do it while the belt was on it, and it rotates real easy. Get your ratchet. Obviously, put your ratchet on the bolt. You want to undo. You want to get your spanner and put it in something like that. So they're opposite, and you can sort of, if we hold that there and push on this with one knee, you can crack them. So that easy. Right, now what you want to do is you want to work your way from the outside on the head, work your way to the outside to the inside of each end. Crack that one off. Now go to this one here. And then you want to go to the one below that. And you want to go to the opposite side. We go to the opposite. Opposite. Always go on the opposite or the one next to it, just to just so you can sort of. What it does is if you don't undo these bolts on bigger engines, probably not necessarily this, considering there's only eight bolts holding the heads on, is sometimes they can warp, much like. Probably not a crank so much, but heads can warp if you start from the inside and work your way outside, which is why when you're torquing up a head on any vehicle, you always go from the inside and work your way out in opposites. Same if you've got a camshaft overhead cam engine. Oh, I've got to pull plugs out of this, didn't we? If you've got an overhead cam engine, you want to undo like the straps or whatever you want to call them, brackets holding the cam in from the outside and work your way in. And then when you tension it up, you do the opposite. You go from the inside out when you're tightening it up. Right, let's pull this head off. So, we've removed the sump and figured out that if you just squeeze my hand in here and give it in front of these old wipey boys, oh, look at that. Isn't that just pure goodness? I did pick something out there. What is that? That's a piece of metal. What the fuck is that from? Ooh, Oh dear. Look at it though. That is not ideal in the slightest. Is there any shit in the pickup? Oh, there was until I just broke it off. Interesting. Interesting indeed. We might have to pull the timing cover off it. Because I think, if that's what I think it is, it could be a bit of spring from the timing cover. From the tensioner. Look at that. Yuck. You could waterboard someone with this. It's not waterboarding if you use engine oil.